Hey guys, my name is Jeff Rojas and I'm a portrait and fashion photographer based out of New York City. Today I'm going to be talking about exposure, doing stuff for exposure. And it's going to be a really heated topic with many of you. I'm going to do it without teachy voice, I'm going to do it without a script. This is literally just me talking to a camera, talking to you guys and having this conversation of should you or should you not do it. I think a lot of photographers don't know how to capitalize on what exposure means. So first let's define what exposure is supposed to be. And that's supposed to be putting you in front of a large audience. And a lot of companies want to put you in quote unquote in front of a large audience. And I get these emails probably once a week where people want to put you in front of these large audiences. Now, the problem is most photographers, again, don't know how to capitalize on what that means. The first thing I go ahead and mention is you always have the option of saying no, right? But before you say no, think about it less like a creative. Try not to get as angry. I mean, these are people on the opposite side of these emails. They're actually people, so you necessarily don't want to curse them out. I've seen plenty of really well-known photographers posted on Facebook and posted on Twitter where they're cursing someone out for doing something for exposure. So that's the conversation we're having today. So three things that we're going to talk about how to capitalize on. The first thing is, if the company's willing or person is willing to provide you a mailing list, meaning let's say it's a company that's trying to hire you to do a project. They're cash poor, meaning they don't have a lot of cash in hand, but they have a huge mailing list of potential clients. They just have all their investments and they're strapped for cash. So if they're willing to provide you their mailing list, that'll give you an opportunity to reach their specific audience, potentially bringing them to your brand. It's not a hidden audience at that point. You get actual emails and contact information for each of these people. And if you know how to capitalize on that, if you know how to sell these clients. So for example, with myself, I teach photography. Could benefit me trying to get a mailing list from a company. If I can reach 10,000 people, if I know that I can sell 10% of those or 5% of those or 3% of those at a $30, $40, $50 price point. So you can start doing the math there, 5% of 10,000 and just kind of move that forward. It's potentially worth my time and investment in doing a project if that's the case. Now, a lot of companies aren't gonna give you their mailing list and that's just the reality of things, sorry. The second thing I wanna go ahead and mention is trading things for product. There's a lot of photographers that have sponsorships and they're doing stuff in exchange for product. For example, a free camera. Now, let's say your day rate's $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. Most of that's going into your pocket anyway. There's not a lot of costs associated with doing the project, but you want to do something in exchange for this project. Now, what I want you to remember is that the first time you do this, it could mean that that's the end of the relationship. The only thing that they have to give you right now, because they're cash poor, is a free camera. It might turn into a long-term series of projects, it may not. But you have to think about it like an entrepreneur. How can you convert whatever they're giving you into more cash? Now, I know as a photographer for myself, I can go ahead and multiply the investment of that camera into a great return on investment. Maybe it's $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 off of that one camera in projects that I couldn't necessarily do before. And that's how you start thinking like an entrepreneur and less like a creative. You may lose money at the beginning, but you're making money in return on the rear end there. The third thing I want to go ahead and mention is potentially doing things in exchange for forward agreements. Thinking about moving forward. Let's say if you get hired by a brand and the brand wants you to do stuff in the beginning for free or exchange for services. How about instead of charging them your full rate, you discount it. If they give you a forward agreement for the next 2 or 3 years, they have to work exclusively for you. And you'd be surprised how many different companies would sign contracts like that, where you almost have a retainer with them over the next couple of years, where everything that they do, whether that's the images for their stock use, whether that's the images on their website, whether that's the advertising images, whether that's anything in regards to imagery, they come to you, they hire you exclusively. Now that's a guaranteed job for the next couple of years. And these are things that photographers don't necessarily think about. I want you to start thinking more like an entrepreneur, less like a creative. I know a lot of us get emotional. The first thing we want to do is curse that person out. Hey, I can't pay my rent. I can't pay anything with exposure. You need to pay me. You have to start thinking about how to invest long term. You know, it's easy for a lot of photographers to say, you know what? No, I'm not doing stuff for free. But then there's a lot of you that don't necessarily have a lot of income coming in. And you have to start thinking creatively. You have to start thinking in regards to being an entrepreneur and thinking how you can turn those opportunities into an actual opportunity and not just or closing a door there. You have to consider these things. Now, I hope that helps a lot of you how to change your mind in regards to doing stuff for exposure. There's a ton of different ways that we could have discussed how to convert exposure into actual opportunities, and I want you guys to leave those below. Those of you that have other ideas to help others, that's what this whole forum is for you guys to have that conversation and that dialogue to help other people. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please share it. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great day.